I created G-plans out of nutrition frustration. One day during nutrition studies at Duke University, we came across a revelation. We discovered that everyone has a completely unique metabolic structure and type. Eating a generic diet program will not get you the results you want, and you will continue on a path of yo-yo dieting forever. Ultimately, sustainable food programs are built within your own specific metabolic template.
I eat what Dr. G tells me to eat for my metabolic type. I don't call this program a diet because I eat more than on other programs.
Hello, my name is Savannah, and thank you for joining me for another nutrition masterclass. So glad to see you here today. I see a few people chiming in already with asked you what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is. So I see Margaret and Carly, y'all both agree with dressing or stuffing. That sounds awesome. Hope you have a great week. Would definitely say, personally myself, for my favorite dish when it comes to Thanksgiving, have to go with sweet potato casserole. I love sweet potatoes, so I have to stick with that. So getting started with today, we do have a fantastic offer for you. So in honor kind of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, we have a very special deal where you can take advantage of a 15-minute nutrition consultation with one of our nutritionists here at G-Plans for only $4.99. So right at $5, that's an amazing offer. So really about half off what we usually do there. A great deal, a great time to talk with a nutritionist, answer any questions you may have, and hear a little bit more advice for you specifically moving forward. So check that out for sure. And today, what we're going to be talking about is if you really need to reduce your carbs in order to lose weight. Is that something that you really have to do? Is it a requirement? So we're going to go over that today. Please feel free, as always, any questions you may have through this presentation to add those in the chat box. I'd love to talk with you, answer any questions here at the end today. All right, so we'll get started here. Okay. All right, so do you need to reduce carbs to lose weight? First off, of course, please feel free if you have a question, maybe something you don't want to add to the chat box today or anything else you'd like to reach out for, please feel free to send me an email. So you'll see my email there up at the screen, and we'll also add that for you in the chat box today as well. All right, so carbs and weight loss. Low carb and keto diets are definitely very trendy topics in recent years, and this has also led to carbohydrates often being looked at as if they're the enemy. One very common question that we receive at G-Plans with new clients is whether they will be able to lose weight eating the amount of carbs on their plan. Today, we're going to discuss whether you actually need to reduce your carbohydrate intake to lose weight and a few additional tips to help you choose healthier carbohydrate sources. Let me know in the chat box at this time as well. Have you ever followed a low-carb diet? And personally, did you find that it was successful for you? I'd love to hear a little bit about your responses there. So, do you really need to reduce carbs to lose weight? While reducing your carbohydrate intake can definitely initially increase weight loss fairly rapidly, this is primarily due to a drop in water weight. Carbohydrates are a very important part of a balanced diet and important to include when your goal is weight loss as well. Studies do show that generally, plans that are more restrictive or eliminate entire food groups are generally less successful in the long run. While quick weight loss may initially seem encouraging, following a very restrictive low-carb plan could be tougher to stick to long-term, increasing the risk of gaining the weight back later on. So, some health effects of following a long-term low-carb diet. Reducing your intake of sugar and simple carbohydrates, or slightly reducing your carbohydrate intake over a shorter period of time, can help to support or increase weight loss. However, following a restrictive low-carb diet over a long period of time could lead to health issues. Restricting carbohydrates can lead to increased cortisol levels, a reduced thyroid hormone production, and unstable blood sugar levels. These factors can combine to affect long-term weight management and result in a slower metabolism, which can make it tougher to maintain your weight loss. In addition, you're also missing out on vitamins, minerals, and fiber that is found in carbohydrate-rich foods. So, how do you eat carbohydrates and lose weight? Despite carbohydrates generally having a pretty bad reputation due to low-carb diet trends, they are so important and they serve as our body's primary source of fuel. Carbs also help to preserve muscle mass, promote digestive health, and can reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases. The key with including carbohydrates when your goal is weight loss is to focus on complex carbs and reduce more simple carbs. Complex carbs are generally lower in sugar content, higher in fiber, and less processed than simple carbs. Ultimately focusing on sticking with whole food sources like vegetables, whole grains, and fruits, and consuming these sources with a balanced meal containing protein and fat is a great plan to aid weight loss progress. So the glycemic index. Glycemic index is another tool that can help you to choose better options when it comes to carbs. The glycemic index ranks foods by how rapidly they raise blood sugar levels. Foods that are high on the glycemic index are generally, again, more processed, lower in fiber, and higher in sugar, and these tend to cause a rapid increase in blood sugar levels that crash quickly. If you look in the corner of the screen here, you'll see there's a diagram showing with the high GI and that red color. That's showing your blood sugar increasing and dropping very quickly when you eat a food that's higher on the glycemic index. Now, the orange color at the bottom, that's showing when you eat a food that's lower on the glycemic index, how your blood sugar rises slowly and then slowly decreases as well. When you have very rapid blood sugar increases and decreases, this can contribute to cravings and lead to slower weight loss progress over time. Focusing on including primarily foods that are lower on the glycemic index can help to keep your blood sugar levels more stable and therefore also support weight loss. Better carbohydrate sources in general. When it comes to selecting better carb sources, it's best to focus on sticking with mainly whole food options. Processed foods generally are lower in nutrients and fiber and higher in added sugars. When you eat a very balanced diet with an emphasis on quality whole foods and consume healthy carbohydrate sources alongside protein and fat, you can lose weight and keep it off long term. The best way as well to ensure lasting success with weight loss is to follow a sustainable plan that is not overly restrictive and to focus on including nutrient-dense whole foods. So with that being said, I'd love to hear as well, tell me some of your favorite carbohydrate sources. I'd love to hear that and share. All right. And then lastly here, have my tip of the week. And so this is for, again, if you do choose to kind of have an off-plan meal for Thanksgiving, that is great. But if you want to focus a little bit more, maybe staying on track with weight loss goals in general, this is a great focus for your plate. So this plate diagram you'll see on the right, if you focus on Thanksgiving, about half of your plate, filling up half your plate with primarily vegetables. And again, this is not going to be things like your green bean casserole or maybe heavier sweet potato casseroles. This is ideally going to be just vegetables, not in the form of a casserole. So filling up about half that plate with vegetables, you'll fill up about a quarter of your plate with lean protein like your turkey, and then you have the other quarter of your plate for higher carbohydrate foods. So ideally, if you're really focused on doing this, that would be between maybe some of those casseroles, those richer foods, potatoes, grains, and maybe your desserts as well. So hope that's a helpful tip for you, and let me know any other questions you may have at this time as we're done with the presentation here. All right. Okay. All right. I see a drop knot here. I see I have an issue that I eat out a lot. I want to get started soon. Yeah, definitely don't let that hold you back from getting started, because we'd love to talk with you as well. If you take advantage of this great deal we have for a nutritionist call, we have a lot of ability to help kind of plan ahead. So even if you are eating out more often, we can really help you get on track with a good plan that works for you and your lifestyle as well. So we'd love to work with you and help you out there. All right. And another question said, what replaces maybe some dark chocolate or graham crackers after dinner? That's a good question. Ideally, yes, a snack with fruit and maybe nuts, something that's going to be balanced again with protein, fat, and carbohydrates. So again, an apple, peanut butter, simple, but that's a great evening snack after dinner. Very balanced. I hope this was a helpful presentation today, diving in a little deeper into why you really don't have to reduce carbs in order to lose weight. Carbohydrates are so important and important to include to help you keep weight off long term as well. So definitely take advantage of this great deal we have with our nutritionist call, only $4.99 this week. And I hope to see you next week. Next week, I'm going to be discussing some common mistakes that can slow down your weight loss progress, and then some tips to help you avoid those common mistakes as well. So I hope I'll see you then, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.